Storm is coming. The only question now is what kind is it going to be?
We're not gonna take it. Hell, we ain't gonna take it. Oh, we're not gonna take it.
Hey guys, this is Jared. You're at the collision of faith, politics, and culture, listening to Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Sanity. I want to talk about the storm. You've probably heard the term a few times. One storm that the potential, if you're on the interwebs and listening to some of the conservative media that now is no longer on Twitter, this incoming storm involved a insurrection act being signed, the military being used to take down a bunch of bad guys. And, you know, I'm skeptically optimistic that could be in the works, right? I hope so. If the military is involved taking down a bunch of bad guys, I don't know who wouldn't say that's a bad thing, right? However, if that's the case, there's not a lot we can do about it, except I will say I had about 3 or 4 people that I respect that haven't done this before reach out to me and say that and I believe they have the contacts to back this up. I have sources, by the way. Pay attention, I have sources, guys. But anyways, I did have 3 or 4 people that I trust reach out to me and say that they would recommend, having a couple weeks worth of supplies kind of thing, which whether it goes down or whether not, I think it's always good to have that. So I don't think there's a bunch of risk in gassing up your car and grabbing some gas and having a slingshot or a BB gun. That's all I have, Facebook. All I have is a BB gun and a slingshot to defend myself. But with that being said, if that storm's coming, there's not a lot we can do about it, but sit back and pray and watch it happen. The second storm is already underway and is only going to get worse if the administration, the Biden, becomes the president here in about a week, if that happens. So I'm going to share my screen right here. As a lot of people know, Facebook locked out Ron Paul. They said it was an error. It's funny how those errors work, right? Twitter purged 70,000 accounts affiliated with QAnon. I don't know who QAnon is. I know Q and I know Anons. I'm not either one of them, but QAnon is a thing they kind of made up. But anyways, they used it to ban 70,000 people. I've actually heard a lot bigger number than that. And so where do those people go? Where do 70,000 accounts they banned? And of those 70,000, how many people followed them, right? I mean, I followed a few of them and I'm interested to hear what they say. So where do I go? I have to go to Gab, right? They shut down Parler. They took them off AWS. You can't even host it. They were telling conservatives for years, hey, if you don't like Twitter, go build your own. Well, now they kept you from building your own. So it's kind of funny how that works. Gab, they built that. I pulled up Gab on Google just for the heck of it to see what they had to say. Gab is an American alt-tech social networking service known for its far-right and extremist user base, widely described as a haven for extremists, including neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and the alt-right. It has attracted users and groups who have been banned from other social networks. So guys, of those 70,000 people, they're saying now they are all going to have to describe themselves, according to the media, as neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and the alt-right. I don't describe myself as any of those, and yet I've been forced onto Gab in order to listen to people that I believe are being silenced for a reason. That is the problem. That is the storm that is here, whether the other storm happens or not. This storm is here, and it's going to get worse. So there's a quote by a guy who first was he was in Germany, and he didn't stand up against Hitler. And then after a while, he realized he made a horrible mistake, and he wrote this poem that's on the United States Holocaust Memorial. It says, first they came for the socialists, but I didn't speak out because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, but I didn't speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. So even if you didn't follow anybody that got banned, even if you didn't get banned, if you're watching this, my social media hasn't been banned yet. Even if they didn't ban someone, it should concern you. There's a quote going around that, if you cut out a man's tongue, you don't prove him a liar. You only prove you're afraid of what he may say, or some variation of that. And I think that holds true, right? When they start calling anybody who disagrees with them a neo-Nazi alt-right guy, the real question is, are we going to stand up for the rights of people who disagree with me? And so for me, I was not a socialist. I'm not a socialist. But guess what? I think socialists, I don't think socialists should be banned from social media. I don't think they should be banned from the discourse. If I can't beat them in a war of ideas, I deserve to be beaten. So our country is based on the premise that people can have disagreements, we can work them out by conversation, because guess what, if you don't have dialogue and conversation, the only thing you have left is violence, is force. So unless they want this thing to come to force, and you know what, maybe that is what they want, I hope it's not, I sure as heck hope it's not, but they are forcing one side of the argument into silence. So if they were forcing socialists into silence, I would raise my hand and go, dude, I disagree with what he says, but he's got a right to say it, right? He may not have a right to force me into it. That's a different question. But he has a right to say it. So it should concern you, this storm, this purge that's going on through social media, through the news. If you do not accept the status quo, you are now a conspiracy theorist. And mark my words, this is only the beginning. If the Biden administration gets in, it's going to get a lot worse. As proof, this resolution was just put forward in the House of Representatives. It is proposing an amendment to the Constitution to abolish the Electoral College. They want to get rid of the Electoral College. Kamala has already come out and said that she will be in favor of, packing the Supreme Court. DC and Puerto Rico statehood have already been, in essence, packing the Senate. So if they pack the Senate and they pack the Supreme Court and get rid of the Electoral College, you will be ruled by California and New York. That is it. California and New York, everybody else might as well not vote. Let's see what California and New York, who they want to be president. And, as this goes, guys, really the action points that I have is get involved in your state legislatures. I've joined groups, and, I'm going to tour the Capitol on Monday. I've talked to the majority leader of the state legislature. He's actually my representative, and, get involved with those people and those races. You have a lot more voice with the people closest to you, right? I get in a group that supports, what you stand for, and go do it. And honestly, I would say that to both sides of the aisle. I'm not just saying it to the people who agree with me. If you believe something, go talk about it with people, get involved. The only rule is don't try to force your opinion on other people. Try to, what I advocate for is getting government out of my life, not more government into your life. And there is a big difference with that. I'll share this little doodad. I think I've done already, but Joe Biden obviously has plans to go after guns. He's going to do a gun assault weapons ban. He's going to do mag ban. He's going to regulate possession of assault weapons under the National Firearms Act. Anyways, he's coming for him. If he gets in, he doesn't backtrack on this, which I have no reason to believe he would, they're coming. So get ready for the storm. The storm's already here, and who knows, there may be another storm. Lastly, but not leastly, if that's a word, caught on video, National Guard. There are over 20,000 National Guardsmen right now getting armed with M4s and riot shields a week before the inauguration. And mind you, Joe Biden has already announced it's going to be primarily a online virtual inauguration. So I would ask you, as I'm sure you're not a conspiracy theorist, because I'm definitely not a conspiracy theorist. Why, for a primarily virtual inauguration, would they have 20,000 troops armed with M4s around the nowhere to put all 15,000? So who knows how many there actually will be at the end of the day. And they're arming them with M4s and riots. So and to be fair, I have not heard any legitimate, call to arms, if you will, on protest at the Capitol over the inauguration. So tell me if you're going or if you've heard of it. I haven't. I think I somewhat keep my ear to the ground, and I have not heard of it. I've heard only things about the negative side. So either these are the two options, guys. Either the original storm's actually in play, and these 15, 20,000 Army military guys are there for another reason, or B, they're going to do some kind of false flag, in my opinion, operation, and they're going to use it as a launching pad into the true storm, which if they use 20,000 National Guardsmen and they find a way to use them on Americans, which, hey, my recommendation, stay as far from the Capitol as you can for the next long time, and stay far from your state capitals. That's not doing anything to help anybody, in my humble opinion. If you think you should, go do it. But as they say, play revolution games, win revolution prizes. If you're going to go try to topple the government, don't be surprised if you get shot. Personal opinion. Anyways, tell me what you think. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and get ready for the storm. It's coming one way or another.